Right then, my camera's not charged, I don't have a script, and the lav mics are gonna die. Let's try and make a YouTube video. Hey, what's going on? My name's Tom. I'm a freelance videographer and photographer. I've been in the industry professionally for the last 4 years, but it's only over the last year that I actually decided to become self-employed. I now work from home quite a lot more than I used to. This basically left me with one choice, and that was to create a space that I could work from at home. Starting with the desk, I decided to be really unique and use IKEA Alex drawers with a kitchen counter worktop. Jokes aside, I've used this setup for years. It just works. Don't get me wrong, using a kitchen counter worktop does mean that actually the depth is a little bit short, but to be honest, I haven't really found it to be a problem. Mine does look pretty similar to the classic Carlby from IKEA. However, I got it from Traeger Mills. You're probably never gonna find the exact same one. I'm sorry. Moving on to the IKEA Alex drawers. I have so many things from camera accessories, cables, games, and all these different little bits that I'm able to just hide away. They're also extremely sturdy. There has been numerous of times where I've stood on top of this desk and it doesn't even budge. The machine that's powering the entire setup is the M1 MacBook Pro. I opted for the base model. I'm constantly working on 4K footage from the Sony FX3. I can absolutely play back in full resolution with all my edits on. It has been unbelievable. I use a hub underneath my desk. I've got a single cable that runs to my MacBook that gives it power, but also allows me to plug in accessories, SD cards, speakers, monitor. The hub is running the entire desk setup. I'm not gonna linger on the monitor that I'm using because it's quite bad. It is a 4K monitor, but it's not color accurate at all. It's got an extremely green tint. Ultimately, my job relies on making an image look as nice as possible. My current solution is using an iPad Pro as a second monitor. For those who don't know, Apple offer the sidecar function, which allows you to plug in an iPad and use it as a second screen. I have kindly been gifted the Grovemade shelf and drawer system. I'm typically using the middle shelf for things like my keyboard if I need to make room on the desk, even putting my phone away to stop it from distracting me while I'm working. The little drawer is great for hiding things such as SD cards, pens, hiding all the little bits that would usually create clutter on top of the desk. Moving on to the audio. For the desk speakers, I'm using 2 little audio monitors from Kanto. When I'm editing projects, I typically use headphones anyway, but I kind of put them on there because they look really cool, they're not too expensive, and they sound awesome. For my peripherals, I'm using the Apple Magic Mouse and Keyboard. They work really great and they look fantastic. The desk mat I'm using is from OrbitKey. I really like this desk mat, again, because it adds more functionality to my desk. I really like the magnet that holds the cables in place. Because I use my iPad as a second monitor, this just gives me peace of mind knowing that even if I pull on the cable, that the cable's not gonna slip off the desk when I'm not using it. Previously, I used a picture shelf to showcase different accessories above my desk. However, this time around, I just wanted to switch it up a bit and decided to put 3 pictures above the desk instead. I get pretty bored quite quickly. The good thing about these pictures is that I can quickly change them out and it actually makes a pretty big difference to the entire office setup. And I custom made the prints as well, so I thought that was a pretty cool touch. I also decided to add another light above the desk. I'm constantly having meetings, video calls with various clients. If I can use the same techniques that I would use on set to help me make a good first impression over video call, ultimately I see that as something that's going to help me win over a new client. The next benefit the light has, it provides a really decent light for top-down setups. From the little test that I have done, it looks sick. Yeah, I'm really excited to test this out going forward. The last few little bits to mention on the desk setup is the lighting. All of this is from a company called Govee. I have 2 lights on the monitor itself. There's an LED strip on the back of the desk. And finally, there's also a floor standing lamp. It looks so good with the Pro Mist filter on. The space I'm working in is only 3 meters squared. It's pretty small, but my goal with this office was always to make it as functional as possible. To the right of the desk, we have another feature wall, which is wood slat accent panels. They're acoustically treated. These are from a company called Nature Wall. I just wanted to quickly stop the video to give a massive shout out to my good friend George.
This video wouldn't have been possible without all of the help that he's given me over the last couple of weeks. We've also got a video on his channel that's kind of the renovation of this office. Make sure you go and check it out. I will leave a link in the description below, obviously after you've watched the rest of this video. But otherwise, a massive thank you, and let's get back to the video.
I'm constantly talking to cameras, whether it's making YouTube videos or having client calls. Anything I can do to reduce the echo and make my audio sound better is always a bonus. It's made a massive difference in making this place feel warmer, and they also match the rest of the wood accents within the office. I decided to mount a TV on the wall to create a little bit of a media center that I can watch TV from or play video games. Underneath the TV, I've got a TV unit from IKEA. This is called the Fjalbo? Fjalbo? How would you pronounce that?
Fjalbo.
Another benefit I found of having the TV unit is actually that I can use it as a little bit of a workbench when I'm putting together my camera equipment, and it's actually been extremely helpful for setting up before a shoot. Moving on to the other side of the office, I've got a shelving unit that I'm able to display some camera equipment when I'm not using it. Next to the shelving unit, I've got an armchair, which is from Donnell. Above that, I've got 2 pegboards on the wall. I've got some pretty exciting plans for these pegboards, although I'm gonna make this a separate video, so stay tuned for that one. If you have any questions, of course, leave them in the comments and I'll be sure to reply. Otherwise, this was my home office setup 2023, and I'll see you in the next video.